Hey guys, what's up? Hope all are doing well. I am Prasad. Today I am going to speak on the permeability of the soil and Darcy's law. Currently I am studying in MIT Academy of Engineering Pune under the course of Civil Engineering. First we will see the permeability of the soil and then after Darcy's law. Guys, permeability is a very basic and fundamental thing in the geotechnical engineering as it deals with the soil, water and their properties and their flow. Property of soil by which it permits the flow of fluid through it is called as the permeability of the soil. It means that soil की ऐसी प्रॉपर्टी जिसमें से फ्लूइड को पास होने के लिए अलाउ किया जाता है. Guys, soil is composed of soil grains in such a manner that it has some hollow or empty spaces. That spaces are nothing but the voids. We can call that spaces as a voids, and through that voids water or fluid can flow through that soil or rock. Guys, when water passes through that rock or soil, that rock or soil resists that water or fluid. Permeability of the soil for different fluid can be different. So we will see the permeability of the soil, how affects by some factors. First we will see the by soil or rock कैसे vary किया जाता है. By particle size. As guys you know that the particle size is a very important factor in this permeability. If particle size is greater, then the permeability of the soil must be greater because it creates the large number of voids or larger voids. For example, coarse grain size, it has large voids, so permeability of the soil is more in this case of coarse grain size. Vice versa, in case of a fine grain size, it has small size of particles, so voids are in less number and are porosely ना के बराबर होते हैं. So in this case, permeability is less. Case of fine grained soils, due to the less connectivity of voids, permeability of the soil is less. Permeability of the soil is also varies with the case of void connectivity. If voids are connectivity is good, then the permeability of the soil is good because through that voids fluid can flow very easily and there will be won't any kind of restriction or obstacle to flow of that fluid, so it gives the more permeability. Then the second factor is the structural arrangement. If particle size are arranged well in a rock or soil, then the voids are created very well or connected also well, so it gives the permeability of the soil well. And second thing is type of fluid. As properties of fluid exhibits during that flow determines the permeability. Then the second thing is the void ratio. Void ratio is nothing but the volume of void divided by volume of solids. This is the ratio, and permeability is directly proportional to that void ratio. If void ratio is good, then the permeability is also good. If the void ratio is less, then the permeability is also less, as due to that direct relation. And measure the permeability of the soil by following methods. First one is a constant head permeability test, and second one is the variable head or falling head permeability test. The first one, constant head permeability test, is mainly suitable for the coarse grained soils as more voids consists, and second one is a variable head or falling head. This is suitable for mainly fine grained size due to the less voids or less connectivity of voids and less permeability. After all this, guys, I want to remember you one thing. As all of you know that water flows from one end to other end if and only if there is difference of hydraulic head, from higher hydraulic head to lower hydraulic head, or simply we can say that from higher energy region to lower energy region. To explain about all these phenomena and all this concept of permeability, French scientist Darcy came into picture and he explained and he stated one law after his conclusion of his experimental study, and he stated that the famous law, that is the Darcy's law. We are going to see that Darcy's is a French scientist. He did the several experiments and proposed his theory as the velocity of flow of liquid between 2 points in the soil is directly proportional to hydraulic gradient applied to it. Let me elaborate this thing. If water flows means water has some kind of velocity. That velocity between 2 points is directly proportional to hydraulic gradient. Then the second thing is, what is hydraulic gradient? We will see the what is hydraulic gradient. Hydraulic gradient is denoted by I, and it is given in formulae as I is equal to delta H by L, where delta H is head loss. So guys, now we will derive the Darcy's law equation mathematically. Darcy says that velocity is inversely proportional to length and directly proportional to hydraulic gradient. As V is directly proportional to I, we can write V is equal to Ki, where K is coefficient of permeability. V we can write as Q by A, that is charge by area of flow. So by equating we can write Q is equal to AKI. We will call our first equation, that is V is equal to KI. We will solve and write it as K is equal to V by I. If I is unity, then K is equal to velocity. It means K is equal to V when I is unity, that is hydraulic gradient is 1. Basically, coefficient of permeability of soil describes how easily a liquid will move through a soil. It is also commonly referred as the hydraulic conductivity of soil. Coefficient of permeability can be affected by the viscosity or thickness of fluidity of liquid and its density. So guys, all this is about the Darcy's law and permeability of the soil. Guys, let me say one thing which I have missed while explaining the permeability of the soil. That is, guys, all of you know that the earth structure, that is made up of soil and rock, layer by layer, one layer on another layer, then another layer, then another layer, like that. When water flows linearly to that layer system, then permeability of the soil or rock will be greater, because the void connectivity is good, and due to the less effort have to given by that fluid while flowing to that void connectivity, so permeability will be given greater. And in the case of vice versa, while flowing through the perpendicular to that layer system, permeability of the soil will be less due to poor connectivity of voids, and have to give more efforts to flow from that void connectivity. So guys, we have covered all that topic on permeability, Darcy's law, coefficient of permeability, and all. Again, we will revise once what is permeability. Permeability is the property of soil that which allows the water or a fluid to flow through its voids. And Darcy's law is stated as the velocity of flow of liquid between 2 points in the soil is directly proportional to hydraulic gradient applied to it, that is V is equal to Ki, where K is coefficient of permeability and I is hydraulic gradient. So guys, thanks for watching my video, and